Vedrà, Darcy, che se la buona signora ci farà l'onore di una sua visita, non mancherà di deliziarci col descrivere i meriti delle sue figliuole e i demeriti delle altre.
Oppure ci racconterà come sua figlia Lydia sappia fare le frittelle, o come un giovanotto innamorato abbia scritto dei versi per Jenny quando aveva soltanto 15 anni.
Anche lei sa già queste storie?
Sì, giovedì scorso le bastarono pochi istanti per mettermi al corrente.
Sarebbe una deliziosa suocera la signora Bennet. Non è vero, Darcy? Lo dicono tutti, eh?
Quando aveva 15 anni. C'era un giovanotto della città, ospite di mia sorella, talmente innamorato di lei che eravamo sicuri che la chiedesse prima che partissimo. Non l'ha fatto perché gli sembrò ancora troppo giovane, ma scrisse per lei dei versi commoventi proprio.
Mamma, vuoi venire a vedere Jenny?
Oh, me ne ero dimenticata. Scusate, permettete. Voglio vedere la mia bambina così ammalata.
Prego, signora, s'accomodi.
Grazie. Vieni, tesoro.
Micidiale.
Per fortuna che Jenny non assomiglia per nulla alla madre.
Ah, d'accordo, Charles. Ma non dimenticarti che sposando una donna si finisce per sposare tutta la sua famiglia.
Ik neem aan dat je er ook geen enkel bezwaar tegen zult hebben wanneer de ganzensibbe daar Bennets over ons komt. Ik geloof, mijn beste Charles, dat je me het beste aan doet om je toekomst maar helemaal voor te stellen te midden van dat enige gezin. Maar Bennet voorop. Ik hoor de stem al. Mijn lieve meneer Bingley.
Mijn lieve meneer Bingley, het komt werkelijk niet te pas dat we nog langer uw gastvrijheid genieten, maar de dokter heeft eenmaal gezegd dat Jane niet voor morgen thuis mag komen.
Morgen? Oh, dat lijkt me naar mijn mening nog een klein beetje te vroeg. Maar als ze dan inderdaad zover hersteld is, dan zal ik haar zelf bij u brengen, veilig en wel.
Wanneer geeft u uw feest, meneer Bingley?
Zo gauw mogelijk, maar niet voordat uw zuster helemaal hersteld is.
Oh, dat komt er goed uit, want tegen die tijd zal kapitein Danny weer in Merton zijn. En dan zal ik erop staan dat hij ook een feest geeft.
Oh, ik dacht een ogenblik dat ik uw rijtuig hoorde vertrekken, mevrouw Bennet.
Het is waar, het begint al aardig donker te worden. Kom maar mee, Lydia. Oh, wat een prachtige kamer hebt u hier, meneer Bingley. En wat een schitterend uitzicht door die ramen. Geen eigendom in de buurtschap is zo mooi als Netherfield.
Ik ben helaas maar de huurder, mevrouw.
Oh, nou, maar dat kan u niet beletten daar veranderingen te brengen, nietwaar?
Inderdaad. En ik moet zeggen dat Netherfield mij op het ogenblik heel erg bevalt. Maar ik ken mijn eigen aard. Die voorkeur kan van de ene dag op de andere weer veranderen.
Oh, u zult zich hier nooit eenzaam voelen, meneer Bingley. Er zijn minstens 24 families in de buurtschap die dolgraag bij u op de thee zullen komen. Goedendag, meneer Darcy. Wij hopen gauw te horen wanneer u bij ons komt komen om met ons het maal te delen.
Nou, misschien als ik Jane weer terugbreng in de schoot van een familie.
Arme Jane. Zonder die onmogelijke familie van haar zou haar kans op een goed huwelijk veel beter staan.
Stel.
Eén oom schijnt procureur te zijn en een ander heeft een huis in Cheapside waar de huizen inderdaad erg goedkoop zijn. Wist jij, Charles, dat de Bennets een oom hebben die in Cheapside woont?
Nee, en het kan me niet schelen ook. Het maakt geen haar minder aardig en hartelijk. Het zijn voortreffelijke mensen.
Miss Bingley and Mr. Bingley, you are kindness itself. My poor Jane, I do not know what would have become of her if it had not been for such good friends. You have a sweet room here, Mr. Bingley. I do not know a place in the country that is equal to Netherfield. You will not think of quitting it in a hurry, though you have but a short lease.
Whatever I do in a hurry. Therefore, if I should resolve to quit Netherfield, I shall probably be gone in 5 minutes.
That is exactly what I should have supposed of you.
You begin to comprehend me, do you?
Oh, yes, I understand you perfectly.
I did not know, Miss Bennet, that you were a student of character. Must be an amusing study.
But a country neighbourhood can, in general, supply but few subjects for such a study.
But people themselves alter so much that there is always something new to be observed in them.
Yes, indeed. I can assure you there is quite as much of that going on in the country as there is in town. I cannot see that London has any advantage over the country, for my part. The country is a vast deal more pleasant, is it not, Mr. Bingley?
When I'm in the country, I never wish to leave it. When I'm in the town, it's pretty much the same. I can be equally happy in either.
Ah, that is because you have the right disposition. But that gentleman seems to think the country nothing at all.
Indeed, ma'am, you quite mistook Mr. Darcy. Well, he only meant that there was not such a variety of people to be met with in the country as in the town.
Well, nobody said there were. But as to not meeting many people in this neighbourhood, few neighbourhoods could be larger. I know we dine with 24 families.
Has Charlotte Lucas been at Longbourn since my coming away?
Yes, she called yesterday with her father. What an agreeable man Sir William is, Mr. Bingley, is not he? So much the man of fashion, so genteel and so easy. He has always something to say about everybody. That's my idea of good breeding.
Did Charlotte dine with you?
No, she would go home. I fancy she was wanted about the mince pies. Oh, for my part, Mr. Bingley, I always keep servants that can do their own work. My girls are brought up differently.
And Miss Lucas seems a very pleasant young lady.
Oh, dear, yes. But you must own she is very plain. I do not like to boast about my own child, but to be sure, Jane, one does not often see anybody better looking. Well, it is what everybody says.
Mamma, it is late, and the roads are very muddy.
You are right, my dear. Miss Bingley, thank you. Come, Kitty, Lydia.
Mr. Bingley, have you forgotten your promise to give a ball at Netherfield?
I'm quite ready, I assure you, to keep my engagement. You may name the day, when your sister is recovered.
Oh, yes, it would be better to wait until Jane is better. And then when you have given your ball, I shall tell Colonel Forster it'll be quite a shame if he does not give one too. I mean to dance all through the season.
Mr. Bennet! My dear, Jane is going on very well. And I know that Mr. Bingley will make her an offer before the week is over.
Good, my dear. And if he doesn't make her an offer, let's hope that he jilts her. For next to marriage, a girl likes to be jilted occasionally.
She's far too ill to be moved.
Yes.
The doctor says we must not think of moving her.
Then I will not hear of her being moved.
Miss Bennet will receive every possible attention while she remains with us.
She suffers so much. She has the sweetest temper. I often say to my other girls, they're nothing to her. Such a charming house, Mr. Bingley. You will not think of quitting it in a hurry, I hope.
Whatever I do is done in a hurry, and should I resolve to quit Netherfield, I shall probably be off in 5 minutes. However, at present, I consider myself quite fixed here.
That is exactly what I supposed of you.
Oh, you begin to understand me, do you?
Oh, yes, I understand you. Perfectly.
I wish I could take that for a compliment, but to be so easily seen through is pitiful.
It does not necessarily follow that deep and intricate characters are more estimable than such a one as yours.
Listen, remember where you are. Do not run on in the wild manner you are suffered to do at home.
I did not know that you were a studier of character. It must be amusing.
Yes, I am. And intricate characters are the most amusing.
In general, there can be few subjects for such a study. In a country neighbourhood, you move in a very confined, unvarying society.
But people alter so much. There is something new always to be observed.
I can assure you there's quite as much of that going on in the country as in the town. I don't see that London has any particular advantage over the country, except the shops and public places. Well, the country's pleasanter, is it not, Mr. Bingley?
Oh, I can be happy in either.
Ah, that's because you have the right disposition. But that gentleman seemed to think the country was nothing.
Mamma, you quite mistook Mr. Darcy. He only meant there was not such a variety of people to be met with in the country as in the town, which you must acknowledge to be true.
Well, certainly, my dear, but there are few neighbourhoods larger. Why, I'm sure we dine with quite 24 families, and all of style and fashion. Why, only last week we dined tete-a-tete with Sir William Lucas. So much the man of society, so genteel. And his daughter Charlotte's such a friend to my girls. Pity she's not more handsome.
Oh, Miss Charlotte seemed very pleasant.
Oh, well, you must own she's rather plain. I don't like to boast of my own girls, but one does seldom see anyone better looking than Jane. When she was only 15, a very fine gentleman in town Sent her some verses, and very pretty they were, too.
And so ended his affection. I wonder who first discovered the efficacy of poetry in driving love away.
I have been used to considering poetry as the food of love.
Of a fine, stout, healthy love it may be. Everything nourishes what is strong already. But if it be only a thin, slight sort of inclination, I am convinced that one good sonnet will starve it entirely away.
Mr. Bingley, you promised us a ball. We are all depending on it. It will be shameful of you to forget, and we will never forgive you. Oh, please, please, Mr. Bingley. There are new officers in town we are pining to meet.
When your sister is recovered, Miss Lydia, you shall, if you please, name the very day of the ball.
Look, girls, is it not a fair prospect?
And now the mother. Are we to be invaded by every Bennet in the country? Oh, it's too much to be borne.
Mrs. Bennet, you are very welcome. I hope you do not find Miss Bennet worse than you expected.
Indeed I do, sir. She is very ill indeed and suffers a vast deal, though with the greatest patience in the world, for she has the sweetest temper, Mr. Bingley. But she is a great deal too ill to be moved. We must trespass a little longer on your kindness.
But of course.
Miss Bennet will receive every possible attention, ma'am, I assure you.
You are very good. Well, you have a sweet room here. I think you will never want to leave Netherfield now you are come here.
I believe I should be happy to live in the country forever. Wouldn't you, Darcy?
You would? You don't find the society somewhat confined and unvarying for your taste?
Confined and unvarying, indeed it is not, sir. The country is a vast deal pleasanter than town, whatever you may say about it.
Mamma, you mistake Mr. Darcy's meaning.
Do I? Do I? He seems to think the country nothing at all.
Mamma.
Confined, unvarying. I would have him know we dine with 24 families.
Mamma, have you seen Charlotte Lucas since I came away?
Yes, she called yesterday with Sir William. What an agreeable man he is. That is my idea of good breeding. And those persons who fancy themselves very important and never open their mouths quite mistake the matter.
Mr. Bingley, did you not promise to give a ball at Netherfield as soon as you were settled here? It will be a great scandal if you don't keep your word.
I'm perfectly ready to keep my engagement. And when your sister is recovered, you shall name the day of the ball, if you please.
Oh, there now, Lydia, that's a fair promise for you. That's generosity for you. That's what I call gentlemanly behavior.
Mrs. Bennet, Miss Bennet, Miss Bennet, and Miss Bennet, sir.
Oh, for heaven's sake, are we to receive every Bennet in the country?
What an excellent room you have, sir. Such expensive furnishings. Oh, I do hope you intend to stay here, Mr. Bingley.
Absolutely. I find the country very diverting. Don't you agree, Darcy?
I find it perfectly adequate, even if society is a little less varied than in town.
Less varied? Not at all. We dine with 24 families of all shapes and sizes. Sir William Lucas, for instance, is a very agreeable man. And a good deal less self-important than some people, half his rank.
Mr. Bingley, is it true that you have promised to hold a ball here at Netherfield?
A ball?
It would be an excellent way to meet new friends. You could invite the militia. They're excellent company.
Oh, do hold a ball, Kitty.
When your sister is recovered, you shall name the day.
I think a ball is a perfectly irrational way to gain new acquaintance. It would be better if conversation, instead of dancing, were the order of the day.
Indeed, much more rational, but rather less like a ball.
Thank you, Mary.